So I thought I'd give you a quick, you know I am a complete nut and bolt nutcase fan of nuts and bolts. So you know this shaft from yesterday, we wanted to beef it up, didn't we? We wanted to improve it, but you know the only way, if you wanted to make a turning mechanism for this, you'd have to find the right size tube, right size, and then all that. So anyway, this is why I love nuts and bolts, because there's so many and so varied. And especially, do you see these ones with the edge on them, because it just makes it easier to weld. And happens to be in this particular case, look, what are we going to do? We're going to do it that way. We're going to send that down first. There's the thread, it fits. We're going to send that down the hole first. Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this on the end of the shaft. We're going to put that there. We're going to pull that into there, because I know it goes, look. We're going to use this one here. We're going to use this thread here. Where's the spanner gone? Is that the spanner? I can't believe that's the spanner for it. No. We're going to use this. We're going to use this to pull that into there. That's going to pull that down into there now, look. And now we're going to be able to put this, screw this in there. Are we doing that the right way around? Hold on, let's have a look. No, we're not. We're doing that the wrong way around, aren't we? We want to spread that around, don't we? We want to do what we want to do, because that's going to sit on the edge. We want this one to go in that way, don't we? That's the puppy. Want this one to go in there, because we know it'll go nice and deep inside there. We're going to make this one sit inside there like that, aren't we? We're going to weld that to there. Going to make that gap up, and we could even pull it in with this, or if we chose to, we could weld that in there like that. And as long as you leave it, don't jam them up, that is going to be a lovely, we'll weld whatever you wanted to weld there, grind the chrome off, and that will create, it could even be a bearing. Well, no, it wouldn't run, because what happens, it's not in this shaft, it would move along, but when it turns, okay, it's going to go up a little bit, or it's going to go down a little bit, but it's not going to do much, is it? But a nut and a bolt and a bit of welding can pretty much create anything you want to create. Now, I'm not going to do it that way. Look, it's a good tight fit in there, isn't it? So I'm going to do it this way. Let's swap that over. I knew I did it for a reason. I knew I did that for a reason. I'm going to do it this way. So I'm going to do this in there. There we are. That'll reach around the edge now. And that's still on the inside. And it'll still, so I'll burn that. So what I've got to do now is I've got to turn the welder down and use a smaller stick. But luckily, because that nut's got a built-in edge on it, that's just fit in there lovely, and it's going to do great, isn't it? So nuts and bolts are way more than just clamping two things together. You can use, if you're a bit of a creator, a bit of a maker, a bit of a butcher, a bit of a bodger, look at that now, running lovely and smooth. Imagine that being welded around there. See what it creates. It's going to be lovely, isn't it? Just nice. So you can make, I am a great fan of nuts and bolts, and as you're following me along, I'm using nuts and bolts on everything. Obviously, I'm a bit of a welder, you know, bit of a weld, and on you go. So I just thought I would. We're gonna use that now, aren't we? And you ain't gonna get the looseness trying to find the right size bar and trying to get the right size tube to go over the bar to do something like that. Yeah. So yeah, that's why I am a massive fan of nuts and bolts. You can turn them into anything you want to turn them into. So look at this. We've managed to, well, I'm not going to call it weld because that'll insult welders. I've managed to crack it together and make it stick. I've managed to make that stick to that. Look what it's created for me. Lovely. And we know it's only going to do half a turn at max. So that's great, isn't it? So that'll come back out and go through now. And we've got something meaty to grind, to weld, you know, burn to. Trouble is working with small thin stuff. If you're very good, you can do it, but if you're just a butcher and burns through everything, what I do is beef it up and then crack on. So we're going to find a spanner now. We'll find a suitable spanner that we can weld onto there now, and that's going to give us and okay, it's turning. It's not like it's in well, it is in a shaft, but we know it's going to move left or right a little bit. But because in this particular case it's only going to turn half a turn, it's no big problem, is it? And that's going to be lovely and strong. Yeah. So we've made this now, haven't we? Because that's a countersunk hole, I don't know if you can see it from there. It didn't work that way. Let's have a look over here. Because that's a countersunk hole, it's not as strong as I'd like it to be. So what I'm doing is I'm going to put these here, just touch them there, weld that there, weld this here, weld that there. So to strengthen this bar, I'll weld this, or I could even weld it round there. That would make it nice and strong, wouldn't it? So this nut, rather than resting up against it, becomes part which strengthens that all together up. Right, so we're there now, aren't we? This is going to be coming down. We went to the old spanner box, found this, a Whitworth, but somebody's cut it to do a certain job. Well, that's fine for us, that'll be fine. So we weld that to there like that, look. Weld that to there like that. We're going to, although it's not the right size, it'll do. We'll weld that nut into there, around there, that'll be fine. And that will give us a certain amount of adjustability, that flexibility. We can adjust then, can't we? So what's going to happen is, I'm going to have to make another film to show you, but that's going to be welded to that, which is going to turn on this. It's going to do half a turn, isn't it? It's going to be welded there. This is going to be there. That's going to be welded into there. The big thread will come down from within the tube, and we'll have a bit of adjustability there should we need it. Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling really good. Can't wait to show you. I can't wait to show you. This will be the shaft. Inside the shaft will be the resting point for the key, right? So there's the key, which will come down the shaft. Inside the shaft will be, and we're going to do that without dropping it, yeah. So in the shaft, inside the shaft, this and that will be welded together. So that'd be fine, that'd be driven that, right? So you'll turn this as a thread. Here is the mechanism. Let's have a look. Look, that's going, that's locking. And this is unlocking. It's going to work just fine. It's going to work just fine. Can you see? Look. See? Okay, we've got a bit of a... We can adjust it and mess with it and play with it, can't we? There's our adjustability. We can play here, whether we need a bit more or a bit less room up here. We need to put it about there, don't we? Yeah. Yeah, put a locking nut on the bottom of that, lock that in. And then we screw it in, screw it clockwise, and the bar will push the bar here connected into the top. So we've got it now, haven't we? We've cracked it. We've cracked it. I told you it was going to work, didn't I? I told you it's going to work. Yeah. So here is the mechanism working from a side view. I might change that to a coach bolt with a rounded head on that. But it's going to work. Spot on. It's going to work just fine for what we want it to do. So I guess fit it to the door now and then see how far it sticks out the door. I guess it won't be that far, it'll only be about here. And then we've got to put a shaft going upwards and make the top keep and all the rest of it. Yeah, I'm pleased about that. So a little coach bolt works a lot better on that. Yeah, little nice rounded head coach bolt. I'm going to leave that as it is, weld that in from the bottom. Yeah, it gives me enough wiggle room to play with. You can never always put a certain amount of adjustability in. You can always reach then, but that coach bolt's going to be there just fine, and it's going to allow that to work a lot better and a lot smoother, isn't it? Yeah, little short coach bolt on it.